Can I have booze instead? Does anybody have any alcohol for me? Holy shit, that dude just like, yeah. I'm a bear looking for another bear. Usually they're cups. All right, well, that's cool. I've got a bottle of basil up here, and I'm just waiting to get done with you all. I talk about alcohol, but I try to stay sober while I'm doing it. Has anybody seen this lady up here with this cool costume who will not let me borrow her tote? Hey, is it really uncomfortable for you to sit like that? Well, then stand up. Well, all right. Holy cow, you look like me 50 pounds ago when I was trying to stand up when I was heavier. Look at this. Oh, how many kids do we have in the room? I had to keep it PG-13. I have you too. Who brought them? Put your hand down, sir. You're at least 50 years old.
51.
All right, hey, Slick, how old are you two? How old are you? 11, and what about the one next to you? 8. Have you seen the Terrifier movies? All right, 11-year-old, what's your name? Colby? Is that your family next to you? Child Protective Services. The number is right over there. Call that a second for me. So, true story. I was doing an Evil Dead panel with Sam Raimi and Ted. Do we have any Evil Dead fans in here? I was in a Comic-Con in March. Yeah, well, my voice went that day. I was so pissed because I'd never met Sam Raimi before. And I've met most of the living people that I wanted to meet. This job's really awesome. But I never met him and my voice went out. But Sam and Ted, were you there when Ted was giving me shit about showing my kid the Evil Dead? Actually, I've never shown my kid the Evil Dead. But my voice, he wasn't listening. He didn't, by the way, want to be on that panel. Sam made him do it. Yeah. So you let your 11-year-old watch The Terrifier Part 2. Cool. When you're 15, I'll buy you your first beer. Yeah, I don't know. It's a way to parent. Oh, we have another kid up here. He's on the phone. How old are you, Chief? How old are you? Oh, like I should know that. Did you see that? Like 10. Old fat dude keeps talking to me. All right. Where are the rest of you? Who traveled the furthest? I always like to ask these questions. Where, Beetlejuice? How much? Stand up, Beetlejuice. So where did? Yeah, I know. Hey, she knew my kink. So we all got them. Where's 5.5 hours? It's not that small. It's pretty small. I'm from a small town, so yeah, I know that. Is she with you?
Yeah, that's my daughter.
Hi. How do you feel about this? Are you 10 as well? How old are you? Oh my goodness. Do you get dragged to these things all the time, or is this an actual mother-daughter outing? Oh, give it up for them. Are you dressing as this all weekend long? What are you going to be tomorrow? Are you going to be here tomorrow? Well, I won't know who the hell you are tomorrow. You're killing my game, dude. Just because I wasn't into you doesn't mean you have to block. See, I didn't say the other word. Hi, Chucky. What up? Not much. Yeah. You have fun? Yeah. Are you 10 as well? That's cool. Chucky does not want me to talk. All right. At least not to them. Who wants to talk? Yeah, dude. You were really excited. I love that Pearl shirt, by the way. I like Pearl. Oh, that's cool. Where did you come from? Did you come here just for this? Well, that does beat that as well. Austin's a lot of fun. I do a segment for a friend of mine in Australia. He's in Melbourne. It's called Good Movie Monday. You should look it up. It's a great show. Plus, we do Bonehead Weekly fun size for them as well. That's cool, man. Awesome. Why did you come here from Austin?
Why?
Yeah, who did you come to see?
Just the Hall of Fame.
Oh, it's cool. Hey, does anybody remember Scarefest from like 7 or 8 years ago? The Griffiths have done a good job. Am I right? This place is crazy. You saw that line out here tonight? That's amazing to me. I knew that it was going to be crazy last year on Saturday. Can you imagine what it's going to look like tomorrow? Oh, I thank you. 50% more is accurate. So they're just staring at me through the door. Come on in, have a seat. You can sit there, but it's going to cost you $20. You guys are a subdued crowd. Oh shit, dude, give me money. I don't make enough doing this. Cat needs drinking money. Have a lovely Bonehead Weekly sticker. We don't do that. All right. Who else wants to talk? We've got Australia. What else? With that cool little shirt.
There's a 10-year-old here that hasn't seen Terrifier yet.
Oh, that's called good parenting.
Yeah, we try.
So, 10. What may I ask you your name, ma'am? Corinne? I'm getting old and deaf, Corinne.
Oh, you heard right.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. Corinne, do you have a favorite horror film?
She likes Monster High.
Who doesn't?
She's 10.
Joking, I actually like that. That's awesome. Who's your favorite monster? Say it for me a little. Jack Laura?
Draculaura.
Draculaura.
She's from Monster High.
Who's your doctor? Dr. Aguila? That's an old joke. That joke is about as decrepit as I am. They're all here? Are you guys ready? You want to get started early? Hold on. I've got to walk out and do my little thing and come right back. You guys ready? Now, when I come back, I expect you all to behave. Goodbye, Dad.
Good luck with that.
All right, who's ready? I only want to hear from the 10-year-olds. I still can't believe you let them watch it. All right. This is a long list. This is not me being disrespectful. It's just that we have this many cool people. I want you to give it up, not only for the cast of Terrifier, the director of Terrifier, anyone who ever had anything to do with Terrifier is about to come on this stage. And I'm going to read them all out. David Howard Thornton. Ellen McFarlane. Casey Hartnett. Anywhere. Hold on, don't we have a director out there? Damien, come on in, Damien Leon. Elliot Pullman. Sorry about that. Haley Hyman. Clara. Sarah Boyd. Amelia McLean. Where's she at? Everybody. Anyone? Do we have enough chairs? I think we're one chair left. Okay, no, we got a chair right here because no one wants to look at me. Come on down. Yeah, sit right. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to get the heck out of the way in a second. So what I'm looking for is nobody here wants to hear from me right now, correct?
I
Who said I do? Oh, hi, Joe. We have a chubby chaser. It's a joke. Anyway, moving right along. Okay, yes, thank you. So, moving right along. Get your question. Who wants the first question? Oh, she is excited, and then we'll go over it. But hold on. She is. I'm I'm telling you. You go first. Okay.
So my question is actually for Damien. Were there any scenes in Scarefest that you felt like after you kind of like threw everything on the screen, like, oh, I wish I really would have added this or taken that out?
Yes, it's funny that I'm sitting next to you, isn't it? Funny you should bring that up. Yeah, it was the alley bedroom kill scene, and we knew that was going to be the scene going into part 2 that hopefully would rival the hacksaw scene from part 1. That's all we would hear. How are you going to top that? So we started filming it, and we didn't have the effects prepared to my liking, but we had to just jump in and start shooting. And I remember it was 2 days, and we were filming it, and I remember being kind of depressed and looking at the monitor and pulling my producer Phil aside and being like, "There's no way this is going to live up to that. I mean, we're going to have to figure something out. We're going to have to come back and reshoot or something." And then we wound up getting hit with the pandemic and went into lockdown, and I said, "This is the perfect opportunity. Now I have all this free time on my hands." And I basically wrote out a list of the worst things imaginable I could do to a human being, like 20 things. I showed it to my producer, and I called up Dave, and we went down. I was like, "We got to pick like 5 of these things." And now I have all this time. I could really take as much time as I need to make these effects as good as they could possibly be. So that's what we did, and then we eventually went back and shot that scene basically over again for about 5 days. And he is just a rock star. Like, that scene does not exist without Casey. He is the MVP of that movie. And I mean, 5 days, I don't know, 18-hour days. I mean, she had to be covered in blood and prosthetics. I mean, and it was just every stage, every step of the way. It would be, 3 hours to put the scalping, that prosthetic on. Then we go and shoot that for a couple of hours. Then I have to go back and get her into another stage. And that was all shot in a barn in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the winter. I mean, that whole bedroom was set in an ice cold barn. So she's covered in blood, practically wearing nothing, and we had space heaters, so she'd have to go off in the corner in between setting up shots and stay in front of the space heater, and then we'd have to shut it off because you can't have that sound going when you're shooting. So it was absolutely brutal, and she didn't complain one time, which is just it's an amazing thing, amazing collaborators to be working with. But no, I think we did enough to her. I think we did enough. But, it's hard to separate yourself from, because I'm so involved. I'm doing the makeup and editing it and putting sound effects. So it's hard to be really sort of, just like watch it like an audience member for myself. But there was a moment where I was editing it and there was no music or anything. And I was listening to her just scream for hours in my apartment, and I literally got lightheaded. And I called up Dave, and I was like, "Jesus, man, I'm cutting the scene, and it's like brutal. I really think people are gonna freak the hell when they see it." Yeah. Lots of crunches and squishes. Yeah. But yeah, no, we put a lot of work into it, and we're just so proud. But like I said, I mean, she's the MVP of that scene, so we're very proud.
Please stand up. Yes, when you ask a question, stand up.
So, full story, I actually met you back in March at Horror House, and my delight got to tell you that I never seen your art. And so I was like, I'll follow back up with you when I watched it. Laura, how hard was it not to laugh at David in his sunglasses?
A lot of people ask me that question. I wasn't there when he was doing it.
Really?
Because a lot of people don't realize when you're on set, especially during close-ups, you're not looking at anything because the camera's so close to you. And honestly, these actors are so incredible that they don't have to be there, but a lot of them will try to be there, and Dave might be behind the camera. What Dave does, just to give me a reaction, and sometimes just to be a dick. But I love you, Dave. But yeah, no, I honestly been on set for so long, and I had to do, like, we were filming in New York, and I had to do a commercial the next day in Philly. So I was just like, how am I gonna survive this? That's all I was thinking. And so, yeah, it was.
Props to you, 'cause you look like you're about to laugh at him.
Oh,
In like one moment, I was like, that's
yeah.
I realized like when I went to watch it, I was like, I know I have so many questions for real estate and anything. I was like, I'm gonna ask out who's their therapist. Well, that part is I learned that maybe
You and me both. But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun though, and I can laugh at it now, which is great. You know, they all did a great job.
First, I just want to say thanks. Really appreciate everything all going on. So really appreciate it. This is fun for me. So, in production, of course, like particularly when we're working a lower budget, you're not always gonna get what you want. But sometimes you have to make something work. I guess I'm curious. If something comes to mind, a situation on the production of what any there where you didn't get to use what you wanted or get what you wanted, but it actually worked out better than the thing you wanted initially. You're like, hey, actually, I'm glad it didn't work.
Like a happy accident.
Happy accident, blah, blah.
Sure. Yeah. There's a bunch of them. But the one that's coming to mind now is with the ending to Terrifier 2. I don't know if you're familiar, where the nurse discovers that Victoria's giving birth to Arthur Clown's head. So originally we shot that, and it was totally different. She runs into the room and she sees Victoria like screaming, convulsing on the ground, grabbing the back of her head. And she runs over to check, and she's screaming, it hurts, it hurts. And she goes, she goes to look, and she whips the back of her scalp open, and art's growing on the back of her skull like a giant tumor. And that was the idea originally. And it was this big scene where then Chris Jericho comes in and they're wrestling her and everything. It was like really, not that so we shot that, and I edited it. It was in there, and then one day I come back from a con, and my buddy calls me and he goes, "Dude," he goes, "Have you seen this new movie, Malignant?" And I'm like, "Oh." He goes, "You don't want to check out the ending?" He goes, "Man, fuck." I was like, "Oh my god, my heart sank." And then I went home and watched it, and it was like to a T, shot for shot during that reveal. And they did it so much better, honestly. But I was just like, "Oh my god, now what?" And one day, I didn't know if I was going to just scrap it, leave that entire post-credit scene out of the movie, and then deal with it in part 3. But I was going back and forth with my production designer, Olga, and we were kind of just saying, like, where else could he come out of? Or where could he come from? And and so Olga's credit. So my production designer's credit, she was the one that came up with that idea. More vulgar way, but she said, give birth to her. And then we kind of like laughed at it. It was more like a joking, idea. And I was like, no, wait, that's actually amazing. But she won't give birth to him. She'll just give birth to his head. I was like, that's perfect. That's what we're gonna do. So that was, and it came out so much better. And it actually changed so many things about Terrifier 3. So it was such a happy accident. Yeah. I'm sorry, say that again? Yes. Yeah, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Greetings, everybody. Speaking of endings for Terrifier, do you guys have like a grand scheme for art? Do you think by the end of Terrifier 10, he's going to blow up like the Death Star? Do you guys have a grand plan for this maniac?
I do. I had the idea of how I could end this saga, or whatever you want to call it, when I was writing part 2, which is great because I know where I'm going. I know the journey. I just have to, I have to fill in some gaps and work out some puzzle pieces, but I know where to end it. That's not to say I'm going to, because I don't want to just give out spoilers. I like saying that to be determined. We'll see. But I do have a satisfying conclusion if I ever want to put this character.
All the way in the back. Yes.
Hi. David, I met you and Mark at Scarefest. Hi again. So my question is, what was the inspiration to this art to
Yes. Well, I wanted to really explore the supernatural elements of what brings all these boogeymen back, right? It's kind of the standard trope of the boogeyman is they die and they come back. They never really explain why. They just kind of give a bit of a free pass, and that's like part of their lore. But I really wanted to have that entity or that evil be a main part of the story. What is that thing that's driving you? How does he suddenly come back from the dead? And I wanted a physical character to embody that. So I chose this creepy little girl character, and she's inspired by this old anthology called Spirits of the Dead. I don't know if anybody's ever seen that. So it's 3 Edgar Allan Poe stories, and one of them is directed by Fellini. And in his story, there is this devil character. It's a little girl, like this white dress. She's kind of got red hair, and she's silent, very creepy, like little Arthur Clownish. So originally, I was kind of going to have her like that, and she's going to look more like she came out of the 60s, like a yellow dress with a flower in her hair or something like that. And then as we were getting closer to shooting, that Halloween, I was getting tagged in all these pictures of people doing their cosplays of Arthur Clown, and a lot of girls started dressing up like Arthur Clown. I was like, oh, female Arthur Clown. I was like, there's like so many of these popping up now. I have to do my version of this before like it's out of my hands, before there's nothing original I can do with it. So that's the reason why I decided to go in that direction. Another happy accident, blessing in disguise.
And what a job she did.
And what an incredible
Which leads me to a quick question, if you don't mind. We were talking about this before you guys. What's the youngest fan you've had? Because we have some young people in this room who have seen it as a dad, have not shown it to my child. I felt like that was the right decision. He's 6. I'm curious.
Oh
Can
my
you tell me what's been the youngest one? What's the one where you're like, did you really show it to them?
Oh, my 5-year-olds. Yeah. Many kids. I had someone today tell me that they showed their 3-year-old. And I said, well, that's how you get a little Damien Leone. Well, I remember like when my first conventions I did back in Chicago back in like 2018, and there was this little 4-year-old girl that kept coming by my table over and over again. She was so cute. I was like, oh my god, I'm eating diabetes from her. And her mom's like, no, she's actually movies several times. Like the whole movie, she was like obsessed with me. So every time she's in Chicago, she comes and stuff. She's getting older and older and older as I see her come along. I'm like, this is amazing. Yeah, I've noticed it's a lot of like younger girls that love Art the Clowns. Like little boys will run away from me, but the little girls are like, you know what I do, right? That's another thing too. Some little kids, they're not allowed to see the movie, but they've seen art. Like they're obsessed with the image of Art the Clown. They just love the way he looks. There's something that's really pleasing to the eye when it comes to like, kids and the way they perceive this character.
The Exorcist and the Evil Dead did it for me. Child. Really got it.
So this question is more for and this Sienna and Jonathan from the massive meetings. What were some of the challenges that you guys faced with that?
Oh man, well, so the funniest thing is that like some of the most simple things would be like the most challenging for me. So like something as simple as just simply falling down. First, I don't know why that took so long just to fall down, but I think we eventually. But also,
I'm just a sadist.
but also there was when the last day being on set, just running down the stairs. Everything else like was easy, fun, and crazy, but falling down and going down the stairs were my biggest challenge.
But yeah, falling down is hard. People don't realize that. That's why we have stunt performers. They know how to fall, they know how to make it look convincing, and they know how to do it without hurting themselves. I personally really loved the physical stuff. I loved actually getting thrown around and, really having that collaboration with the stunt coordinator, with Dave, with Damien. Those were some of my favorite things to shoot. But that's because like I've been doing martial arts for 20 plus years. So
Black belt.
Yeah. I can take all your asses. But I wouldn't. But yeah, I really loved those things. But I think the hardest thing for me was was very uncomfortable. This is not a secret anymore. Anybody who comes to my table knows that it just was not practically designed. And I was wearing heels the entire time. So like that's what, but luckily we did have one that was a bit more flexible, but still very uncomfortable. But I really did enjoy getting thrown around by me. It was a really good time. I recommend it. To
You're
anyone.
welcome.
I actually have to chime in on this one because I felt so bad about one of the things that happened to both of them. And it was using that flail. Because especially with Lauren, she didn't like Elliot, he could wear some like protective padding and stuff like that. Because I mean we didn't use metal, but we used like rubber. And that's still stings. And you're getting whipped by that. And she was like taking I'm trying my best to hit the areas I was, but like it's a flail. It flails around. It's called a flail. But yeah, I felt so sorry because it's like we're doing this repeatedly.
And I got him back by accident.
Oh, she got me back.
But yeah, it hurts.
It hurts like a motherfucker.
Welcome.
I felt so bad. It's like she whipped me across the face and got me right on the tip of my lip. And I was like, woo! And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, no, girl, it's fine. It's like, no, I deserve that. Because I had Samantha the first film, and I'm like, I am so sorry. Now I know what it felt like to get hit once by that thing. I'm like, oh Jesus, I did this to 4 people over and over again. I'm so sorry.
I do have to mention that slap from my mom.
She got me in the back of the head too.
That was a real slap.
You took it like a champ.
You don't call your mom the B word.
Sorry.
I learned that lesson as a kid myself. All of a sudden, I was applying across the room. Just don't call your mom the B word.
Yes, I'm there. This one's for Damien. You think there'll be a credit card video game?
Ooh. I like
Yeah, I do. There's already talks. There's a potentially Dead by Daylight. That might happen. We love Mortal Kombat.
Oh my God.
For sure, though. Eventually, yeah. That's exciting. Look forward to that.
Arthur Brown would have the best fatality.
We all know about the famous death scene, other than part 1. But the 2 others that didn't quite make it to the end. I know things are often shot out of order. Did you all know about that? When you all died, and when you all saw your death scene, what was going to happen? Did you be like, oh crap? Is that really how I'm going out? I mean, what did they shock you, especially if you already knew what happened over here?
I was so sure I had the best death scene. I was so sure, and then I saw the movie. Like, how do you beat beating someone's heart out of their chest? No, I thought it was pretty epic. I like my death scene a lot. I'm a big fan. I don't know. What do you think? Oh, you're talking about me still? Keep going. It's beautiful.
I had no idea how I really ended up.
Did it blow your mind?
Let's just say I was last day of filming, it really sent me out the door in style. And then I learned about mashed potatoes. When I saw the film, after I saw Casey mutilated, fighting, and I screamed out of the screen. You guys know, it's terrible. It's horrible. So I don't know, to answer your question. I loved it. I would do it again, and I hope it would be worse next time.
She actually screamed, "What's wrong with you?" The baby in her head. It was hilarious.
Thank you very
Boy, I wasn't even thinking of that kind of aspect of it all. The pressure on me was more just to keep doing what we had done that was successful in the first film that everybody liked about the character, but still grow with the character in some ways. And so my whole thing is like, I want to like, I looked at art as being a little bit more cocky this time around because we come back to the dead and stuff like that. So I wanted to have a little bit more, that kind of aspect to the character. But I'm like, that whole idea of like the icon status, that's something I still can't process. that's still, I feel like I'm still a baby right now compared to the rest of the greats that are here this weekend. So that I just wanted to make people happy, and I was just like, okay, hopefully it works. It worked.
Hey. So I had a question about the marketing in general for this movie because it's such a huge phenomenon. Did you guys have some kind of like amazing marketing? Was it really word of mouth? Was it a hit for a
Zero market.
vote?
I want to say zero. We did. I mean, that's unfair. Like Cinedone, now Cineverse put it out. They did the best they can. But Hollywood movies have $20 million marketing campaigns. It's like half the budget of their movie they use for marketing. We didn't have any of that. So we had to be really strategic with what we did. But the reason it took off was organically people started, fainting or like getting sick, leaving the theater in the middle of our kill zone. And that's just stuff you can't pay for. I mean, that is just real organic hype. And that just snowballed. So that was so amazing. I mean, that first Sunday, I think it was a Sunday that weekend. I saw it in Manhattan with my buddy George, who's the TV. And we leave the screening and we're driving back home, and I'm flipping through Instagram I was on Twitter, and I see someone tweeting a picture of a guy like literally passed out in the lobby of the movie theater. And they put like an emoji over his face, like block out his identity. And there's two paramedics walking over to him, and he's got the Terrifier poster like right above his shoulder. And the caption was like, "Yeah, my friend just had paramedics called on him for Terrifier 2. Highly recommended." And that was like the greatest thing. It all started there.
Amelie?
I made this. I made them before because I was hungry and it was freezing in upstate New York, and I was looking for all the food and I wanted mashed potatoes. So I made them and I ate them. It was delicious. Damien walked in, he was like, "Where's the frogs? Where are the frogs? We're about to film the shoot. They don't have the mashed potatoes." And I ate them. So then I had to go out in the freezing cold, like to Walmart or something, and get more mashed potatoes. And I ate them.
I watched her eat them and I didn't say anything. Welcome to Terrified. It worked so well.
Mid-song.
Oh my God, those people everywhere.
Constantly saying, "You're being too nice, you're being too nice." And then we kept bringing more, and I just thought that like bar was going to explode at a certain point. He'd be like, "It's not enough! Keep going, keep going!" And then Barb came, and then she stayed and became her own problem. I thought she was going to be nice. Really did. No idea. Yeah. She was so fun. Your costume was so great. I love the bear too. Oh, you're on fire! Oh my God.
So the promotion of Sonics, they make their own popcorn bucket. So for Terrifier 3,
definitely gonna they're gonna feed off of that puking hype. There's no doubt next time around. But I can tell you, now me personally, I really want to make people throw up watching Terrifier. So that wasn't my intention writing part 2, but part 3, I'm really writing some of the most repulsive things I've ever thought.
If you make it, it's gotta be Ali's mom's head.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, that would.
Y'all can have it.
Very nice. Is 3 gonna be more epic than 2?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, everything's got to be bigger, better, bloodier. I've said this. I mean, obviously, I can't talk about spoilers, but I really want to try and recapture. And people like this has gotten out there, and people have taken this the wrong way. I want to recapture more of the tone and the atmosphere of Terrifier 1. I said I want it to be creepier and darker. I want to make art a lot scarier again, as if you've never seen him before. And now what's happening is you're getting very comfortable with this character. People love him. He's getting, you know what I mean? It's like his charisma and this, but I want to try and go back and make people really afraid of him. But that doesn't mean that he's going to lose what makes people love him, like his sense of humor. He's still going to be quirky and do all those great underground things. But I think there's a way to recapture that tone of the original that I really miss, that grittier style.
I was just wondering, how do I apply to it?
It's all cast. I'm sorry. It's all cast. No. No, we get asked that a lot. I wish I could kill all of you. I really do. Listen, if we do, follow the Art Clown Appreciation Society Facebook page, and we really might put a casting call out there. Thanks. No, never. It's so crucial to the character. And it allows us to be more sadistic, believe it or not. Because when you wink at the audience after you do these things, it reminds you that at the end of the day, it's just a movie. It's a fictional world, and we should be having fun and not be feeling miserable. So that's the balance I'm always trying to strike. So the levity is super important to these movies. So we're never going to lose that. But I would rather lean more into the horror, right? A big drawback to a lot of these movies or pitfall is when it starts becoming too funny and too relying on becoming like self-parody. Like that's dangerous. So next one's PG. Plenty of gore. Sunglasses. They're in the movie for 2 seconds. Look at that. Amazing. Who would have thought? I just thought he looked like an alien or an insect. I was like, I like that. You want to kick it off?
I don't know. I don't know. I've never seen that.
She's only seen one horror movie and she's in it.
Yeah. Oh, boy. I mean, I know a lot of people who see these other things, so I'll name something totally random and stuff like that, but I think it's fun to do Nicolas Cage. I'd be surprised if you can. Nicolas Cage's character from Willy's Wonderland. Two silent characters just going at each other like
Yeah.
I like the idea of Nicolas Cage fighting. I like that. I think we should do it.
I think he would pair up with Freddy really well, just because they both have that sense of humor. I feel like he kind of, not that I'm ever comparing him to Freddy, but I feel like he's kind of has a silent Freddy thing going on, where he has so much personality coming through, even though he doesn't speak. And like we were just talking about the levity. So I think the two of them teaming up together would be fantastic.
Honestly, I've been thinking like it would have to be something supernatural that people to go against Art the Clown, because Art the Clown is hard. So maybe in it, I think.
That's cool.
I think that would be a fun matchup to see, either him or Leatherface, even though Leatherface is supernatural. I think that'd be a fun, grotesque matchup.
I'll say Jay.
My brain.
Whatever comes to mind. Yeah, I mean, I would want to say Freddie or Chucky, I really would, but like, the more I think about it, I would love to see him like a stoic slasher, like Michael, and to see him like play off of that would be fucking
He's
hilarious.
also kind of supernatural.
He's totally, they really all are. They're all surviving now, but we love them for it, obviously. But yeah, I would love to see him with like a stoic character because I think I could just see Art playing off of that and it being very funny. But any of them, I think he could do well.
But on the Nick Cage thing, do you think Art the Clown could steal the Independence?
Could Art steal the Declaration?
That's the real question.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He'd leave like one of those Red Lobster snacks.
Art was here. It would be pretty obvious he did it.
With blood all over. Just for fun. Like this is like some little John Hancock.
Barbie. Yeah. Yassify our song.
Question for David. So at the ending credits scene, what made you cast Chris Jericho of all the actors? And two, will he be in part 3? And will he be killed?
I can't say whether or not he's going to be in part 3. Spoiler territory, right? But Chris is a huge horror fan, like diehard, deep track horror fan.
Oh.
And one of his bandmates showed him the Hacksaw scene, I believe, one day. They were on their tour bus. He's like, dude, you gotta check this out. He showed him the Hacksaw scene. Killer Clown. He was like, no, trust me, check out this scene. And like, it blew him away. And then he watched the whole movie and he fell in love with Art the Clown. And then he met Dave at a horror convention and he had you on his podcast. And the two of you hit it off. And then I had done a con that he was at. And we had a drink and we were just talking about horror movies that we grew up loving. We really hit it off. And he was like, dude, if you ever have a part for me, if there's any way I could ever be involved in this, he's like, I would love to. I love these movies. It's Jericho. And I wrote that part for him. And he came down for 2 days and we shot that. It was so much fun. It was so cool. He's such a cool guy. That's how it happened.
Yes.
First of all, hi, thank you all for being here. So good to meet you guys again. So I know from the first movie to the second movie, it was kind of like a year later, like my master is kind of coming back. So from the second movie on throughout however long this saga will be, are you kind of planning on just kind of sticking with Sienna and her little brother from here on out, or are we kind of moving from different characters to different characters?
What can you tell? No, I can tell. No, I can tell you that. We're definitely continuing to follow Sienna. I mean, there's so much you have to learn about what's going on in part 2, right? There's so much mystique around both of these characters, around Sienna and Art, and there's so many puzzle pieces, right, that you need to put together and you need to uncover. So, and that's all by design, because like I said, when I wrote 2, I knew how I was going to end this, and I didn't want to just, and I love these characters, and I want to make a few movies, or at least a couple of movies with them. So I didn't want to explain and give you everything in part 2. So I want you to learn as we're going, but we're definitely following Sienna.
Good deal. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Well, a mommy, dad, and a mommy clown and a daddy clown. And then they make balloon animals. And then art comes out.
It's actually better than the real. I wish I had this I had a nightmare one night. He just came to me. It's like something that cool. made my first, what I call official sort of short film when I didn't have money to go to film school. I was out of high school. I was like, I want to do this for a living. I want to make movies, but I need something. I need like a calling card. I need a movie, a short that I can show people like this is what I can do with special effects or, atmosphere, character. Right? So I just wanted to throw as many cool horror archetypes that I love into this short film. It's like a cool 10-minute badass short film of just creatures, effects. And I loved killer clowns. I wanted to do something. I just had this idea for a long time of pretty much the personality, what you know of art, but like terrorizing a woman, like very Twilight Zone. Just this woman alone on a bus in the middle of the night, comes to a stop. It's not Halloween or anything, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, a clown gets on, just sits across from her, just staring at her, and just freaking her out, honking the horn. I just had this like really a creepy situation because it's also something that could really happen. I love that. That's why I love the pizzeria scene in Terrified. It's something you can really relate to that will actually happen. So it started there, and I'm like, I like this. I'm going to kick off the short film with that. And now it's like, what does this character look like? And I started sketching and designing him. And I said, if I'm going to take a crack at the killer clown, he can't look anything like Tim Curry's Pennywise. That's the king, right? So I was like, that's where he became very simplistic in design. I didn't want to have any color. I didn't want to have hair or like all this red nose. I didn't want him to speak. I wanted him to be silent because I thought the silent killers were creepier to me, like Michael Myers and Jason. They won't speak to you. You just cut off that communication. Something more animal about it. So it was just all those things coming together. And when I made that short, he's only in the first 3 minutes, but everybody who saw it was like, dude, what is up with that clown? Like, he looks so cool. He's so creepy. Like, that's it. Like, you got to make more shit with that character. So that's what I did. And then I decided to turn him into a slasher. And when I made Terrifier the short film and I turned him into a slasher, that's when I really fell in love with the character. And I thought that there was something very special there. And I had to keep following it. And I knew I had to get him into a feature. So sorry, it's a long-winded story. But, yeah.
All right, we have time for 2 questions. You and then you are remaining.
Well,
I need to say no to people.
shouldn't Felissa be sitting here?
I agree with you.
Because I was
What's
just
going
gonna,
on?
He looked at me like I was anybody else. She will be sitting here Sunday.
okay. Well, because for part 3, you got any legends in mind to appear? Or ask?
Yeah, I do, but I can't.
I know you can't.
For sure.
Yeah.
There's definitely going to be some surprises.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Yes. So after Terrifier 10, our book was the best star and all that.
Yes, exactly.
Give it much thought into what kind of horror movie you want to make different from Terrifier.
Yeah, I actually I have one now in development with Sam Raimi's production company, Ghost House Pictures, and it's another original idea of mine. I can't really say, but it is. Yeah, you'll cut this out. Right? So that's super exciting. So yeah, I hope that happens. There's a couple of really cool projects that I have in the works. One of them isn't horror, but it's like exploitation thriller, which is really exciting. I wish I could tell you. It's actually a remake of something. So yeah, lots of cool, exciting things on the horizon, but I don't know if they're actually going to happen. But Terrifiers they're definitely happening.
All right, Beetlejuice, it's up to you. Last but not least.
Question for David. How do you prepare Rob and your team to get that mindset of art farm?
Oh, that comes from all the bullying I went through in middle school. And I just want to get revenge on everybody. No. But all seriousness, gosh, I just kind of based art on just a huge amalgamation of different types of characters in movies I grew up watching. I mean, first of all, of course, with all the great horror legends that came before him. It was like, you had, I mean, I see him as being like a love letter to slashers. So there's a little bit of every slasher icon that came before him in his personality. And so I put all that in there. Then I have a huge appreciation for great silent comedies, physical comedians. And I was like, oh God. So like, I grew up watching like Chaplin, Buster Keaton, all that
stuff like Mr. Bean, big influence on me. Like I was Stephen Carl's understudy for 5 years on the National Tour of How Grinch Stole Christmas. If anybody knows who he was probably Rodney from Lazy Town. So I took a lot of what I learned from him, put it into art. So you can actually look at some of the stuff I'm doing with art, see some things from Robbie Rodney. I'm like, oh yeah, I see. So yeah, it was just a big, huge amalgamation of all that stuff. But also what I did just to understand the character. It's I don't go full method, which I think everybody here is very glad I don't. I don't do the whole Jared Leto stuff, so I can turn them on and turn them off just like that. So it's like one second I'm just goofing around, doing silly voices. Next I have the angry guys on and I'm slaughtering people. And they can't say cut, and I'm like, oh my god, are you okay? I actually wish you didn't talk for 3 months.
I know. I'm sure of that. I think that's why you always say it's rolling, and we're actually not rolling. So, but like what really helped me understand the character was just one line that's in the first film that the homeless woman says. She said he does this because he finds it's funny. It's fun to him. And I'm like, that's it. He's not doing this out of some kind of weird revenge or anything like that. He's doing this because this is fun. This amuses him. He's the anti-clown. Because clowns are supposed to be here to bring joy and amusement to other people. He's here to bring pain and misery to other people for his own selfish amusement, and he loves it. And that's why this other thing is glommed onto him. It's like, I like you. Let's make you more powerful now. So it's like, that's why I wanted to make him more arrogant. The next one, when he came back from the dead, it was like, oh wow, now I can really have some fun.
Yeah.
And with that, Lexington, let's give it up for.
Thank you, everybody.
Everyone up there. Hi. Yeah, that's what I've written down. Most likely that we would have one probably upstairs. Yeah. Oh, that's over here. Yeah. If it's for any film, it's over here. I'm supposed to be part of it, but it's over here. Oh. Then I believe that would be. I already talked.
I'm already here, so.
So,
And we got the other
so the
filmmaker.
Terrifiers do real well, but we usually
What other?
I truthfully, good. What's the point of the one? I'm coming back. Nine, oh, I got it. Was anybody? Anybody got 5 minutes? I'll be back. I thought, wouldn't normally care about all this. Him? Yes. If it'll fit, I don't know if it'll fit. I'll work. Absolutely. I'm gonna leave this here. No, I'm not. So the floor is open to none. I thought this would get a bigger reaction from either the crowd or some. She actually. Like a crush. I'll be back in a hot minute. All right.
What? Yeah, I overheard you. I'm like, what are you doing here? Yeah, that was yesterday. I flew here, yeah. Tomorrow. What time? 5:15. What? Oh my God. What?
I said it.
Yeah, this panel. So I didn't too? Yeah, I was gonna say, I think we're gonna.
Yeah.
That's anyway, we're all filming. Don't shake my hand. Yeah, why not?
Don't. Okay.
Okay. So we're at.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's.
It's kind of funny. I my knowledge.
Rick, you were out there,
Rally.
thanks for the support. Buddy, I'm here.
I'm kidding. Oh,
I'll tell you what, round. Yeah, I know, that's been on a date. It's like they found places to make it almost the same cheaper. You usually have like. I don't know. That's kind of the same place. Oh, I do too, but not like I did. Right, I love it.
somewhere else. That's right.
Yeah. Like, look, we're I don't know. Here's the other. We are the old. This is when I am the old. I am the old. He's actually 35 years old. That's okay. Maybe it's changed by. And the right looks for. They changed their code.
Oh, this is like streaming.
Yeah, that's West State. He was in stream everything. How you doing, okay, Ray?
Yeah, I'm fine. No, I mean,
Yeah, what's the game plan here, Joe? With and like we don't have a moderator or anything.
Okay, but we got a crew? We got individual people. I will be the moderator.
Okay.
Okay.
We have also makers.
Well, that's a lot of people.
I'll keep the doors open for this one.
I can go wrangle if you want.
Don't so much wrangle, but let them announce it here. Don't tell Ted, announce it yet. Independent filmmakers panel.
Yeah, Joe.
It starts now.
Now, getting ready to start. We started a few minutes late, that's not a big deal. Give me a brief sit down. I moderate. Okay.
We can give them the limelight. So that way, we want to push out. But is there another? You said
No, I said there would be. At least we got two of them.
yeah. And that's the other thing, like showing,
That's cool. 100%.
Okay.
We don't have Eric here to help out anyway,
Right.
but. They all have show.
Right.
But like next year, we'll have a team. Hopefully you guys are.
The other thing I'll tell you, with the, as long as you put it in the film festival, I can guarantee they're gonna hit. But the who was okay, the guy that did the hell, it's practically a whole thing. You didn't come on. You suck. I'm working on a haunted house. Sorry. Anyway, it was a compilation of basically short fan films, nothing original. Right? The Leatherface character.
Oh, you're about slasher.
Well, slasher, okay. And he wanted to, and he tried to put it together. Last year we just had same time. We tried to do it. Not, they won't be done in half an hour. We got. We were gonna rent, like we haven't even.
You're talking about Matthew.
No, Matthew was in on it. No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Actual other.
You're talking about the guy that made slasher.
He was one of, yeah.
Conrad or
Yeah,
whatever?
yeah.
I only know him because Matthew introduced us last year. That's the only reason we know anything about him.
But I'm not saying anything good or bad about it. I'm just saying that I did that telling you, there was, with the new format, there was no string. Unless you just like really such a program.
I guess once you get them up there, get them started, you gotta.
All right.
All right.
All right. All right, filmmakers. Are there some of you in the room? Yeah. Get on the table, we're gonna do it. Hi, I'm Wes, by the way. I was going to do that stuff. I'm going to sit out on email. They don't have questions. I do. Now, once we get up there, I'll ahead. They were going up to do an extra announcement on the PA, just so you know. But okay, now I want to tell you all before you even introduce yourself. I want to tell you how we judge this year's film fest. I have a team. I want to say 7 judges, and we went through the first time, and everybody that watched everything, they had a chance to do thumbs up or thumbs down. That no score. I said scoring for your own stuff. We get the nominations, etc. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Basically that was a binary system. All of the films that are showing this weekend got 100% thumbs up. Woo! That means every judge thought your film was good enough to be in front of our crowd. Well, I want to say right there. That's because I'm picky about something. You got bad audio, I will knock you out. So that means the films that are showing this weekend, everything gelled on. I'm not even going to tell you who the exceptions were, but we also gave every judge a user card. I call it. It meant if you had one film you really liked, then it got knocked out by one thumbs down, they could get that done. And I thought that added a little incentive for the judges. That accounted for of the entire festival. Out of 7. Everybody else is perfectly happy with the way. Great job. Now, introduce yourself. Start out here. Mainly tell who you are and what film you represent.
Okay. I'm Jules.
I'm Jordan Sealander. We celebrate for the dead.
Daniel, I also do Go Great for Dead. My name is Elias Hinojosa. I wrote, directed, and act in All Nighter, 9-minute short. I'm Matt Farron, and I wrote, directed, and acted The Haunting of Hyde House, which is playing tomorrow at 10 p.m.
I'm Tristan Reed, and I'm the writing director of Black Spear, and I also started as well.
Armin Ghostian. I wrote and directed
Playing after.
Yeah, we had, he was running late. It's screened once, but we are getting, hit a second screen because we had an extra 15 minutes of screen time. That's, we want you all to film in front of these files. Now, what, and you always go down the line with this. What is the most difficult? Is there anything, it's not even, okay, I'm gonna split it. What is the most difficult thing about making a film? Like you did?
Coordinating the actors and pre-production, locations, solidifying all of that.
Yeah, I would just say pre-production is probably the most challenging, but I would say you also got to be able to weigh out that it's not going exactly the way you want it to as well. Going to cut your losses and regroup for the next day.
Yeah, just logistics and organizing that number of people, getting everyone on the same page.
For me, it was not being able to see playback at all. I was acting in it, so I have to really trust my people, my DP. And so that really bothered me. But how I got around that is I made a comic book. I illustrated every important frame and printed, made these little pamphlets for everyone on the crew. So even though I wasn't behind the monitor, I trusted my people to know that we were all on the same page. But that was a big challenge for me.
For me, just probably deciding to start like vocally. Because if you decide like I'm gonna do something, you don't tell anyone, you might not actually do it. But when you start telling like your friends and your family, and then like run an entire crowdfunding campaign that you are individually emailing every single person you have the contact information for, you can't not do it. But choosing to do that, to put your reputation on the line and ask people like give you money so that you can do something that you've always wanted to, that's a really hard thing to decide to do. Get that inspiration.
For me, I think, like being a low budget director, like all of us up here, it's like just kind of keeping that composure, like making sure that you're still staying like committed to the entire thing, especially when, you're not making any money off of the thing and you're probably losing it and maybe the account is going negative, and like that's pretty hard and that's scary. And then just making sure that you stay composed so that the rest of the cast is just like, they're hyped about the movie. They're excited to see it done.
As we could see here today, it's like, for me, the thing that's hardest, all of that is really enjoyable. Is getting people to show up. Like promotion, marketing, and all that stuff. I can't really wrap my head around it. But everything else is like fun. Just problem, solution, and then you finish. So then finding the people to help you find an audience.
Now, any questions from the audience? I don't mean to hog the conversation, but if you have something you want to ask, feel free to do so. Now, this is going to sound like a bullshit question. One thing we wanted to promote your films better on Facebook as an organization. Why did we have so much trouble finding, unless we're on Instagram? Screw you kids in Instagram. Well, really, on Facebook, it seems like the filmmakers and film industry has moved away from Facebook. Is that a conscious decision, or is it something we're not aware of? We could not find a lot of you to tag you when we were promoting your film.
I don't know. I think that like all my friends use Instagram, so we just sort of went the Instagram way. And then I kept being like, okay, we should probably make a Facebook. And then it just never happened because we were so busy. And I was like, well, we have the Instagram.
Yeah, we just promote a lot through like our personal Facebook right now, but like we didn't go out and make like a movie.
I could not figure out who you were on your personal
Yeah.
Facebook is dying. It's
Sorry,
circling the drain. The kids moved on to TikTok. Our age are on Instagram.
You're telling me I'm on MySpace.
Yes, Facebook is the new MySpace.
Yeah, I agree. Every time I log in Facebook, I see, my mom and her friends, and so it's like was fundraising, with the Indiegogo for my film, we did do Facebook hard because that's where all the adults with wallets are. I mean, all my friends on Instagram, we were still in school, barely starting our careers. So we did use Facebook for the Indiegogo, but that was a while ago. But yeah, it is a good tool. You're right. We should utilize every single tool out there.
I was gonna say, Reddit. Reddit is designed in a really good way to find like niche fans of things. Yeah, there's a barrier there because it's anonymous, so you don't have that kind of face-to-face thing happen. Still can be well.
I think that Instagram and TikTok are being utilized more now because of the algorithm. Because when you're on those apps, they're showing you what they know you already like, but then different versions you can connect to them also. So that, like, for example, my algorithm is a lot of filmmaking stuff, and I'm seeing things from filmmakers who I don't know, and kind of getting to connect with them. I cast someone in our feature because I saw their headshot on Instagram because they knew that I was looking for actors. That's not something that happens on Facebook. Facebook is you see who you know, and that doesn't mean that you want to, but you friended them, or you liked it, you already knew about it and went there. But Instagram and TikTok, they bring you what they think you're gonna like. So that's a really powerful tool for marketing now for me and anyone who has the patience for it, because it's a juggle.
I'm just gonna go ahead and back up everything that was said. I've never even thought about going near Facebook. I just
Yes, I actually noticed that.
yeah, I've never gone near it, but I mean, I've seen some success on Instagram and TikTok. The algorithm is nasty. Like, sometimes I think it's just about getting lucky, but other times it's just like putting the right hashtags on there and stuff like that. And I think, I mean, like I said, I can't speak on Facebook too much, but I guess kids in my generation like with Instagram stories and stuff.
Yeah, it's like catching the trend, but by the time you realize what the trend is or it comes to light, then it's too late. So it's like you're saying, you're gonna get lucky. But it's also like attaching a cost to it and putting aside enough of the budget where if it takes $1 million or whatever to shoot it, then you need $2 million to promote it. So more of it has to go towards promotion. No one sees it film.
Well, I'm sure of that. Now, as far as monetizing opportunities after the film is made, now, do you think that the new, we'll call it a streaming society, does that give you more opportunities, or do you think that dilutes
It might dilute it just because a lot of the streaming services are offering like a flat fee rate, like $500 to stream your movie, and then that's all you can. That's like as far as you go. It depends. With our film, because we don't have any dialogue in it, and it's too dark apparently. We've been asked to cut my death scene. We've been asked to cut the nudity. So it's kind of one of those things where it was like not appropriate for the streaming services that we were getting in touch with. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, a lot of our, film cousins, if you will, at other festivals have had some success getting on some of these platforms. So I do think there is good opportunities. I'm sure people, I just, oh, that looks interesting, I'll watch it, whatever, especially if I got nothing better going on. But yeah, I would say like, there's more opportunity out there, to counteract what you were saying. But I will also say that it does dilute the pool because there's so much out there. I can't tell you how many movies I want to watch that it's been like a year now. And I'm like, oh wait, I still got stuff from the pandemic I'm trying to catch up on. So I think there's strengths and weaknesses. It just depends, how you utilize it.
That covers what I was going to say.
I mean, I think it's really cool because you could use these platforms as building blocks to help build an audience. If your film has a home somewhere, you can always point people in that direction. Now we've got, Shutter, Alter, Screenbox. There are avenues, there are directions to go in to get something on there and to start building your audience. baby steps, of course, but where I am in my career right now, I mean, I just want my work to be somewhere, somewhere where people can see. And I'm thankful that there are some platforms out there that specialize in genre, specialize in horror, and it's easier for fans of the genre to find your work.
Yeah, I made my movie to do this, to come to the film festivals, to be able to connect with other people. I didn't make it because I thought I was going to be able to sell it. I don't think I'm at that point in my career yet. But what's really cool is with the abundance of streamers, I've gotten reached out to by some of them because you pay attention to the festivals too, and so some of them are pay to play. Some of them want you to pay them to stream your film there. So of course, no, I'm not going to jump in for that. But when it does work out, I'm sure you have a place that you can send people to check it out if you don't know them personally. But I made this because I wanted to show people personally, and so I sent a Vimeo link to anyone who asks, and submitted to a bunch of festivals. And lucky enough to get to actually go to a few people who care about the same things I do.
Yeah, I'll just back up all that. I really like what you said about film having a home, and I also just want myself to be seen. And I do think like the streaming landscape is kind of a home for opportunity because there are so many different like type streaming services with their own like little niche audiences. I think it's a really cool thing because I don't know, like the movies that I want to make and plan to make and the stuff I've already made, like it may not belong on Netflix, I hope that day comes, but maybe it belongs on something like Screenbox. I kind of find comfort in that.
Yeah, actually, it's good news for creators, streaming networks, because like to make money off YouTube, it's down to like 1,000 views, but it's more about having a lot of videos instead of one masterpiece that you've worked on for so long. So in that aspect, it's good, but if you want to ruminate on one piece and make it great, it's either got to be a feature or have someone attached to it that's going to push it. Which in that case, you got to kind of compromise a lot. It's just give or take.
Now, part of the reason I asked that is a little selfish. In that me being an old guy, I do the media. And that means I approve media passes. And the thought of someone being a TikTok influencer, to me, that actually denies the definition of what I consider media. I was wondering if there was an advantage in today's society, or the streaming society, I should say, where the short, is it easier to make money on a short? And I don't mean, well, yeah, you spend less money because you're doing it. TikTok, there are people on TikTok claiming they're making 100,000. I don't know if it's true. So I was wondering if, from a financial standpoint, not looking at how much it costs up front, because love only takes you so far. I think we're all agree on that. Do you think, from a financial standpoint, just looking at the possibility of profit, or at least break, you're better off with a short or a feature? Because I do, probably easier to sell a feature to a service like Streambox.
I mean, I have TikTok. I don't know how to use it. I have to learn. But I would say in terms of like profiting, I would have to say probably a feature. I mean, look at Terrifier 2, and feature is such a profit with the second one. So.
We can talk about that second. That's a phenomenon.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would just say.
If a filmmaker actually wanted to do this as a career versus just be seen,
I would say that the feature films would probably have a better edge, although I think Screenbox and some of them are looking for shorts as well. So I think that you just don't have to hope now. Hope that one anthology that they're doing, will accept my short film. So I do think for a short film there's an advantage as well, just because
they want as much content as they can get. At the same time, I guess I haven't sold a short film yet or streamed it, so I might be just guessing at this point.
Well, TikTokers, I think it's all sponsorships, but I think if your goal is to make money, and you either can make a feature and try and sell it, but I think if you're making shorts, the real goal is to either have that be unto itself or to have it as an example of here's what I can make with this budget, with an increased budget. Like I feel like shorts are far more useful as like proof of concept of like an audition.
Yeah, I was just thinking the word audition. Okay.
Yeah, shorts are like calling cards. You can build off of it. It's a launching point to something bigger and better. But you see shorts being used across the different streamers in different ways. The whole Hulu meme, they did a really great showcase on shorts that became features too. So there's a lot of things I'm noticing with studios and streamers and different platforms kind of encouraging and showcasing these short form stories to their audiences. I think that's important. But as far as profit goes, I don't know what that means.
It depends on where you are in your career, because like we just had a Terrifier panel. Art the Clown showed up in a short film, and then he had a short film that was about him, and then he had Terrifier 1, and then he had Terrifier 2, and it's only because the audience increased from project to project to project. So if he started Terrifier 2, it wouldn't have made $15 million worldwide. And then like David F. Sandberg is maybe my favorite person to reference. He goes by Pony Smasher on YouTube, and he still makes YouTube videos, but he made the Lights Out short film, and then got funding to make a feature, and then got to make Annabelle Creation, and then made the last 2 Shazam movies, which if you liked them, you liked them, but they made money and they were expensive to make. The first one was a lot of fun. It's the second one, but it depends on what you want to do. I don't think a short film is going to make you a ton of money ever. Like, you're not going to get a high grossing short film, but like if your goal is to get attention, you can do it very effectively. The short you can make your short. And if your goal is to get to the project that's going to make you money, start with the shorts, because people don't have a long attention span if they're taking a risk on your project in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for the short that I made as like my thesis in film school, like I wouldn't have had the opportunity to work on the feature that's now in post-production. Like, it's nothing like the short I have here, but if it wasn't for that, and it wasn't for the producers that saw it, I probably wouldn't make like this hour-and-a-half feature that stars a well-known actor like Aaron Roberts. I never thought I would be able to get to that point without making like 5 really bad short films and then 1 kind of okay short film that I was able to plunge myself into the feature landscape. And then once I started making that feature, that's when I finally understood, like, oh wait, this is where like the distribution stuff comes into place. Like, okay, maybe I'll make money. Maybe there's opportunities for like going on a podcast, something like that, talking about it. With a short, it was just like, I'm gonna make this to get a good grade, and that's what it was.
I mean, ideally, what are the 2 like examples that I can think of right now is Slim Blade and Napoleon Dynamite, which both started off as shorts. But I think the older you get, the quicker you need to transition into features. Because that's where the money is. But cranking out maybe like 50 little videos where you shot on your phone, that might make you money too. It all matters where your heart is, really. I mean, some of us here, it's like, we gotta do it because we've been doing it for so long. It's like, what are you gonna stop and do something else? And it's like you wasted half your life.
Well, if I may, my feature is about influencers, and I have a lot of experience with that. That's what my brother's working, and one of our actors is an influencer. And I mean, it's easier to make the videos, but they may as well be short films in and of themselves. The content's not always the same, but it's about the consistency. It's about connecting with your audience as quickly as you can, and the heart's still there, like, to create and connect with an audience, and it makes money for them. You said sponsorships, like that is where a lot of it comes from, because they kind of you build your audience. The more people see you, you're like, oh, I want to see more of what this person's doing, and then people hop on board because, or like brands hop on board because they want you to be able to show off what they're doing through your own platform. It can work the same for filmmakers. That's why you bring in names when you can. Sometimes it's for the talent, sometimes it's to get people to watch it who wouldn't watch it otherwise. So being able to pay attention to those new trends is really important to keep making films, because those are the ones that they're putting money into.
And it gets, you get a good team together, that's cool. You get reliable people. That's how you really proceed.
Now, I want to say this question does not apply to any of you. Okay, this is another one. It sounds like a bullshit question. The thing I notice as a film judge, going through, watching the films, every year there's one or two that stick out my mind. A feature that should have been a short, and I'll see a short. That's it. God damn, that should have been longer. Expand on the story. When you all take this from inception, what plays the strongest influence on, and I hate to say how long it's going to be, is it money, is it actually the content, or is that just really an artistic judgment call that you make on its own decision?
Well, with ours, we had a limited budget, so we kind of were like, let's get our foot in the door with the short, kind of get noticed, and then keep going with a couple of shorts until we're ready to make our feature. So for us, it was a lot of budgetary reasons.
Normally for me, it's just, I like to, I write a lot, so, if the script keeps going, sometimes you just, I guess this might just be a feature, and I'm gonna put it in the back pocket kind of thing. Sometimes, sometimes a short film or either one will come in and just be like, oh, that's totally a short film. We can do this in 10, 15 minutes or 20 minutes, whatever. For the features, most of those for me just start out as like fun writing projects. And we happen to get around to them, like, all right, we're never gonna have the budget for a werewolf transformation, but I'm gonna write it anyway, so it can clear out some room in the head for a new idea to come. And maybe that one will be more feasible to shoot. So I guess, yeah, for ours for this one, it was a music video initially, and every band rejected it that we knew. So we were like, well, it was COVID time, so we had I would say we had to rent it for at least a week because they didn't want to, UPS didn't want to keep shipping it back and forth for like a 1-day rental. So we had to keep it for a week. So we were like, well, let's just expand a 3-minute project into 20 minutes or 18 or whatever it ended up being. So that's how our particular movie kind of, to answer your question, that's how this one came into being. So.
I mean, generally, like I usually have bigger ideas. So like in general, yeah, going shorter is usually a money thing. But if budget is a concern, which it basically always is, script level is the easiest place to restrict that. And it's how many locations, how many costumes do you need? Are you shooting a day and tonight? Or it's that's where you can be kind of small and restrictive in terms of your scope. It's easiest to do it there. So like, yeah, definitely. It's usually a money thing, but like script is you want to keep it short if money is a concern. Because even like it's not doesn't always work out that way, but a good rule of thumb is a page ends up being about a minute, which you have a lot of action or a lot of dialogue that can fluctuate, but it gives you the most control at that stage, I think.
For me, it's all about identifying resources. I'm sitting at a table, I'm trying to figure out what my next move is going to be story-wise. I just look around you. That's what I tell other people who ask me for advice. I'm like, just look around at what you already have, at your resources that you're able to get for free or next to nothing. If there's anything I'm good at, it's begging, borrowing, and stealing. And ask for forgiveness instead of ask for permission. And whenever you're an independent filmmaker, you can get away with some things, in the name of art. So that's how I keep it cheap.
I think you're absolutely right. I think with writers, they are encouraged to write what you know, which is great to make a project authentic. And with upcoming directors, it should be use what you have. If you have that resource, try to take advantage of it if you can. We just did a 48-hour film festival, and one of our friends was a server in a restaurant. So we asked them if we could use the restaurant. They said yes. And that short film looks wild for 48 hours because the restaurant was nice, but you ask, and usually if you ask nicely, people people have a hard time saying no, especially if you're friendly. But it also depends on what your goal is. If you're a writer, you should write whatever you're thinking about. That doesn't mean it's going to get made, but if you're a producer, you should be working with what you have set out to make a short film, a music video, a feature, and don't take a script that is not good because you want to get something done. Like Killers of the Flower Moon, I don't know if anyone's seen it yet. It's 3 hours and 28 minutes, and there's no way that when they were making that movie, they didn't know it was going to be a really long one. It could have been 2.5 hours long, but it wouldn't have been the movie it is. It would have been more The Departed, but this is supposed to be showing you a world that you haven't seen before. And so you have to know like what you want to do with the movie. Are you trying to sell popcorn at the movie theater, or are you trying to show people something that they haven't seen before? I think most of us filmmakers, we should be focused on making shorts that you say, God damn, that should have been longer, because that's when they're gonna pay to get you to make the long version. That's why Lights Out, that's why Whiplash, the Damien Chazelle film, like Blumhouse produced Whiplash, who's producing Five Nights at Freddy's right now, but they knew that people would watch that full movie, and that's Damien Chazelle's first studio film, and it gets him 7 Academy Award nominations. Like, you have to leave people wanting more because there are people who will pay for more.
Yeah, I really don't have much to say. I think everyone said it. When it comes to run times for me, it's kind of a mystery. I don't want to like sound pretentious, but like I just go and film, and then it ends up being a 26-minute short when my professor said it was supposed to be a 10-minute short. And I'm like, I already cut out 2 scenes, man. Sorry to tell you. That's all I got. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you because it's like, you know, we get a little impatient to do the whole feature. So we want to jump to it as quick as possible. But I wouldn't do a short unless I had a feature attached to it, which if you guys stick around another 10 minutes, you can check out my film. It starts at 8:45 next door, and there is a feature attached. So if you have any money, you can come up to me and we can talk then.
Now, part of the reason I asked that, 13 Fanboy. Are y'all familiar with that movie? That movie was pretty much, as it raised money, the movie got longer. And that's part of the reason I asked. I just wondered how much that, in other words, if it was a forethought or an afterthought. Now, the last thing I want to ask y'all as a film panel, and do not be gentle with me because I'm obviously not a gentle type. What would you like to see out of the Scarefest Film Festival that you think we could do better? Whether it's an online part or here, I want to actually know what we can do better for you as filmmakers.
This is my first Scarefest, so I
Well,
just
feel free to compare us.
I love it. It's like the biggest one I think I've been to and been a part of. So I mean, the only thing was we weren't really sure where to go to check in, but that's about it.
We're working on something.
I know, I figured.
Yeah, that was really it. We just couldn't find the TV booth. We kept walking through Artist Row. We saw a lot of our heroes, so that was really cool. But luckily we're here and it all worked out. But so far I'm enjoying everything about it, and Scarefest is really rad. So
I'm impressed.
Yeah, so that might be a better question for like at the end. All right, I don't have anything yet. So far, I'm having a great time.
For me, you guys really, really, really need sugar-free Red Bull. I need a sugar-free Red Bull. Other than that, having a blast.
I'll go ahead and answer that now. If we were in charge of refreshments.
Okay. I'll pitch the
Yeah.
central bank.
They've got all catering company, believe me, it's a thing.
Gotcha. Yeah. My film hasn't screened yet, and I don't know if I can compare it to any other film festivals so far, because this is unlike anything else. Like I get to get a tattoo after my movie screens tomorrow. That's great. I think that this is very much a convention and a festival at the same time, and I think it's really cool that those two things are happening at once. And I think it's kind of hard to see, like, it's hard to separate it all. I don't know if it needs to be, but like there's the convention area, and I don't think there's anything that feels like, oh, we're going to the film festival right now. Like, this is the festival part, and it might be good to feel like if you want to see something new, you gotta head this way. And if you want to go meet your heroes, this is where they are. I'm not trying to say just like make more signs. We like signs, but that would be a fun thing to be able to see.
Okay, no, that's actually very good.
I got nothing, sir. I mean, you put my movie up in front of some
people, and I actually had a family walk up to me and say like, "Hey, you guys like made us laugh today." Like, it's hard. It's hard. So thank you.
But if you had, Wes, if you had like an option, let's say you make it to the movie festival and you say, you know, hey, if you want to give $500 extra or $1,000 extra, and I will make this many posters for you. I'll have one of the celebs like promote your film. There would be people that would be interested in that. I know I would have, because I hate doing that stuff. You know, you want to be this humble, like reclusive artist that just makes scary, crazy shit, and then have someone else deal with it. And if film festivals started doing that for you, I'm sure people would, you know, set aside a budget.
That honestly had not occurred to me. That is, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, everyone, I thank you for joining the panel. Thank you so much for being a part of the festival. And like I said, it is, I think content-wise, at the end of the day, I think this is one of our best festivals, at least since I've been involved with the in project. Now, that's not to say none of the movies submitted suck. Trust me, out of the 108 movies, some were really bad. But the ones that made it, you all were absolutely great. Any more questions from the audience before I let them go?
Editors, do you have an editing team? Do you know people? Do you edit yourself? How does it work?
Yeah, I like to edit. It's probably my favorite part of filmmaking outside of, you know, you do miss. Actually, it's kind of cool because you don't see these actors for like many, many months, but you feel like, man, I was hanging out with you last week because I was listening to all the B-roll of us joking around when I should have stopped the camera, but I thought I cut, but I didn't, you know, so I guess most of our stuff, and it actually helps me because like you can reverse engineer the project, you know, while you're on set. You know, a lot of filmmakers don't like this. We shoot with 2 cameras, sorry guys. It can get you in and out of the scene so much quicker, and you can like, oh, like if it doesn't work to get into a different take, you can like, well, I'm gonna jump to shot B of this take, and then maybe that shot will match better with a different take. And I just feel like it's definitely helped with like the directing and figuring out what shots you want. I still go a little crazy, I guess, but just I'll go over there and I'll go over there. Like I like to have a lot of options, I guess. A lot of people do just like to do the storyboards and stuff, but I like to play when I edit. So, and I like to not always know what's going to be there on screen, and I like to discover it. And that's like one of the parts I get, you know, get going off of. So that's kind of my favorite part of it.
It helps to have someone in your crew who is obsessed with editing, as you can hear.
Oh yeah, I mean, I edit all my own stuff. I probably shouldn't. I probably should reach out to someone who knows better than me. But editing is how I got into film. You know, I started off in theater. Freshman in high school, I learned Final Cut 7 and fell in love with it. I miss Final Cut 7. Yeah. Right. And because I kind of got to marry my theater side with this new editing software that I discovered, and I as a youngster, I made these movie trailers for our shows, our theater shows. So that's how I kind of got into how the filmmaking bug bit me, was through editing. So yeah, I love editing. And yes, you are right. You can reverse engineer the shit out of your movie if you're an editor and you know how it's going to be like when you have all that footage in front of you. But yeah, 2 cameras. That's
you know when you got ideas. You know, at that point, you know when you got it because you're like, well, I'm probably going to use that take. You know what I mean?
It doubles your lighting time.
It does do that.
Ooh, I didn't think about that. Never mind. It does.
But then you get both performances, and it's really cool.
Pros and cons. I think working with a team on any part of a production is preferred because that you actually get collaboration and you can see things through someone else's lens that you wouldn't see otherwise. With the feature that we're screening here, I did it all, but I was constantly showing other people. We actually got to do test screenings because we had a crowdfunding audience. Like they were like, "Oh yeah, I paid to watch it early." We're like, "Wow, most people paid to do this." So it definitely helps to see how people can react if you have a specific goal. But again, like I just did a 48-hour film competition. That's a great way to get back to the basics and figure things out because the whole crew was sitting around as we're rounding it together. And if this person didn't like it, that's relevant because someone in the audience would have the same reaction. And we all have our own specific tastes, but we are making things for a group of people. And so if you can get more eyes on it, it helps a ton. But then so does practice. So the more you do it, the better.
Yeah, I mean, I think being my own editor has definitely made me a better director, and that's just because you go through all the footage and you see things that you love, and that makes me really excited to get back on set. And, but then you see a lot of stuff that you didn't catch, it's really bad. It's really annoying. You get mad at yourself, you gotta improve. Yeah.
I think it's really important to have the humbleness after you learn everything, and you're like the conductor of your own orchestra, to bring in people that are definitely better than you. And that's where the humility comes in. And it shows in the credits too. It's like you have 10 credits. All right, calm down. So I think it helps a lot if you bring in people that are better.
Thank you all very, very much.
Thank you.
Good luck with your